business trip.
Did the people move around?
It does tingle a little bit. Hey, what's going on? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. Over on the other screen was Peter with Princess and the Mouse Disney Travel. I have... Uh-oh. I hear Chewie. Chewie is back.
No, that was me. I was calling for him, hoping he'd show up.
No luck.
No, he didn't say anything back. I do have... Hold on. We do have...
I think you need a few more card boxes.
Sorry, she's so loud. Okay, what?
I said I think you need a few more card boxes.
I only have, yeah. Well, when it went into the Inklands releases, I will have 6 more.
All right, it's top 3 time. If
I'm
you've been here
prepared for our
before,
next segment, butthead.
if you've been here before, great. You know what's going to happen. If you haven't been here before, I'm going to pull a chip out of this bag here. It corresponds to a number on our spreadsheet, and we are going to have 30 seconds to come up with our top 3 or our bottom 3 of that category. I actually updated everything today, so we're not going to run into duplicates or anything like that. So let's see what number we pull out today. We are pulling out number 22. Look at that. Man, it's nice when the camera works. And number 22 is going to be... Next one. 22. Ah, this is a good one. Top 3 reasons to take an adult-only trip.
Are you sure we haven't done this one?
We have not. You've got...
we did top 3 things on what to do on an adult.
Yeah, so this is why. Why would you take that trip? You got 30 seconds.
Thinking about taking a trip to Disneyland, Disney World, maybe a Disney cruise, or one of the other amazing Disney destinations? Contact me at Princess of the Mouse, and I'd love to work with you on your itinerary to the most magical places in the world.
You can contact Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel on Facebook at PATM Disney Travel.
All right, our top 3 tonight is... Why would you take an adults-only trip to Walt Disney World? We're going to give you 6 reasons, probably more because Peter likes to cheat on these. So, I mean, it is what it is. Just kind of have to deal with it sometimes.
You're like 3.5.
You got like 3.5. Okay.
Right now, no, I have 1.
As he stuffs a chip in his face. I'll let you go ahead and go first.
Up, okay, this is going to take a lot out of me. I got fuel up.
All right, I'll go ahead and let you go first. I've got a couple. So since you've got one, why are we taking adult-only trips to Walt Disney World?
I don't know. I got like 3 things written. I don't know which one. Okay. Let's go with this. So, in an adult-only trip, one of the things that you can really do is you can take advantage of the nightlife on the boardwalk, is what I am going to go with. So, it's kind of clumping a bunch of things in, but I don't think I'll steal too much away from Matt or I. I think we'll be able to have plenty of reasons for you to take those adult-only trips. But the boardwalk, for those of you that don't know where it is out that back entrance of Epcot in between France and the UK. And when you go up that hill, if you continue straight down the hill, you'll get to Yacht and Beach Club. And if you go left, you will get to the boardwalk. It's themed exactly like it sounds. It is a New England style boardwalk area around a cape, but obviously this cape is just simply a little lake that allows boats to travel from Epcot to Hollywood Studios with plenty of other ports in between. And as you go down that boardwalk, you've got Cake Bake Shop, and you've got the quick service bakery, and you've got Trattoria El Forno, and all of these things. But then you start to get to things where on a trip with kids, you're not going to be able to appreciate. And I'm going to talk only about two of them in this nightlife on the boardwalk. And that is all the way at the end of the boardwalk. If you continue to walk till you're just about out of it, along that left-hand side, past Boardwalk Inn and the villas, you will get to two things. You will get to Jelly Rolls, and Jelly Rolls is a dueling piano bar. And I'm not saying you can't take kids there, but the party doesn't really start to liven up until after dark. And so an adult-only trip is a perfect time to go and visit Jelly Rolls and take in the dueling pianos, enjoy some late-night cocktails, and really just put a nightcap on your night. And directly across from that is the Atlantic Dance Club. And the Atlantic Dance Club plays dance music into the night, drinks, cocktails, dance music. It has a dance floor. The music varies from old school like swing dancing all the way up to like new school pop and new hits and everything else like that. And so it is a lively night scene. So I'm going to say the nightlife on the boardwalk, after you have taken that all in and you are closing out your night, hopefully you're staying at the boardwalk or the beach or the yacht, because just walking along that boardwalk late at night, the tranquility of the splashes of the waves well after the is just a magical moment. Just kind of grabbing that last is a great way to nightcap a night on an adult-only trip. So probably could have been.
Man, you're super choppy. Come on. Did we get you back? There we go. He's back. You were like right at the end of yours, and then you got super choppy all of a sudden. So, no, you're good. You're good. Okay, so my number three is going to be very similar to Peter's, and it's going to be Trader Sam's Grotto. Trader Sam's, again, is another place you can do with kids during the day, but it becomes a lot of fun at night. You know, Peter and Jesse introduced Shannon and I to it in our last trip, and it is a ton of fun. All of the unique drinks and the fun that happens when you order the unique drinks is a lot of fun to be had. And, you know, I'm not one that drinks in front of my kids a whole lot, so to be able to go there and have a few concoctions and have some fun, definitely something that, you know, I wouldn't do on a family trip per se, as much as I would do on an adults only trip. So my number three is going to be of the same ilk, and it's going to be Trader Sam's Grotto. Let's go ahead and get to our number twos. What are you going to go with for your number two, Peter?
Well, here's the deal. I'm very torn on a lot of different things. But I guess because there's so many reasons to do this. There really are. If you have never taken an adult only trip, I strongly consider doing this. I'm going to go with this. An adults only trip is a wonderful time to do it, because a lot of times Am I working?
You're working now. So it was basically like, hey, it's an awesome time to do it, and I got tour out of it. So
Hold on, I'm closing everything in my computer to try and hopefully help this network quality. I'm also going to minimize this team screen.
Yeah, I don't know if it's you or me tonight. Like I said, my internet seems to be kind of buggy tonight, so.
All right, so we'll see if this works. I closed everything. The only thing running on my computer is this Teams. So hopefully it can get through. So yes, as I was saying, my number 2, an adults only trip is a great time to do a tour. Tours with kids, I have done a few of them, and they've gone okay, but a tour without any kids is a significantly better experience, because what you get in a tour, beyond just a unique experience, is you get history, you get adventure, you get knowledge that you wouldn't normally get. And you know, if you have an older kid, could you do these things, you know, with a teenager? Absolutely. But if you're toting like a 7-year-old around or an 8-year-old around, you're really, really robbing yourself of the true experience that the tour is trying to give you. My wife and I have now done a couple of special events / tours on our adult-only trips. We did a highway in the sky dining. That was just an amazing culinary experience. And when we got to the main course, they straight up took the family that brought kids and put them elsewhere. And they took all the couples and put them into the wine cellar table, because they were like, you all are here for this reason and they're here for a different reason.
Yeah.
And we want you to enjoy. The Highway in the Sky dining tour was meant to be a high-end couples experience. Like, it's straight up, even in the description was like, kids are welcome-ish. They better be at least 14, but like, it was, if you read the verbiage, it was like the strongest Disney can say is be like, leave your kids out of this one. Right? Same thing, my wife and I did the Wild Africa Trek, which is always amazing. And having kids along would have been absolutely fine. It would have been a really cool experience. But when we did it the first time, I'm really glad it was just us enjoying the moment and enjoying the experience together, which will probably tie into my number 1. So I'm going to stop talking about that concept, because although I could go about with very specific things, I think I've got my number 1 hammered in. But I do have plenty of +1s in case you steal it. So.
No.
Yeah,
so
doing those tours or special events.
Yeah, the tours. You know, Shannon and I did the Yuletide Fantasy Tour, which was awesome. And I don't know that the kids would have got as much out of it as we did. And then, you know, we're going.
I think how distracted you would have been if Braden was sitting there going, "Hey, look at that, Daddy."
Yeah, exactly. And then we were looking at the Footsteps of Walt tour out in Disneyland, and we were like, do we want to do this with the kids, because they're just not going to get the same thing out of it that Shannon and I would, but you get to be in Walt's office.
Shannon is okay with it, so I'm telling you this, if Shannon's okay with it, let her go spend a few hours with the kids and you go do it. No, you need to go do this tour and not feel guilty about taking a few hours to yourself. If Shannon's okay with it.
Yeah, no, Shannon wants to go to Walt's office. That's the problem. Is she is just as big of a Disney nut as I am. So yeah.
Then Allie will watch Braden. Tell him to go get in line.
She's 13. I mean, she's California legal.
Right. we have thought about that the last couple of trips. Like, could Addie and Bryce, while Jesse and I like sit and have a drink, would we trust them to go wait a ride line? And I'm getting closer to saying yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My son's got a park map in his head too at this point. Yeah. Sorry.
All right. So my number two is enjoying the countries in Epcot. You know, it ties back, and I feel like all 3 of mine are going to tie back to drinking in some form or fashion, because we do more of that when the kids aren't there. But even when it's just Shannon and I.
I'm an alcoholic.
We tend to do the countries a little bit differently, and I think it's more just you don't have to cater to the things that the kids are going to enjoy in the countries. So there's some times where we can just rush by these certain shops and rush by certain rides and do the things that we want to do without having to worry about, well, Braden really likes to go into this shop and Allie really likes this store, and the kids really want to always like to get snacks at this quick service. We can do it a lot differently, and I think in World Showcase it really kind of comes out in my mind a lot more than other places in the parks, just because of everything that you can do that is more like high end in those showcases as well. You have the drinks, you got La Cava, you've got Le Cellier, you've got some really nice places to eat, that kind of stuff. So it just kind of changes your ability to tour without the kids. So my number 2 is going to be doing World Showcase a little bit differently. Okay, so let's get to our number 1. So Peter, before we get to your number 1, where can people find you?
Facebook is the best way, but I've had a couple of clients recently come in through our website that scrolls through this podcast as well. So those are both of the ways where if you start searching for Disney travel agents, especially if you're in Indiana, my name's going to slide its way towards the upper part of that list, just locationally. Or if you do live in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, thank you, Skibbas. My name comes to the top of the list very quickly.
The official Disney travel agent of Sturgeon, Wisconsin.
That's right. Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin's unofficial Disney travel agent. So yeah, thank you. Shout out to the Skibbas for all of that. Wonderful clients. So yeah, find me on Facebook, send me a message. We'll message back and forth. Ultimately, we'll see if it's a fit and all of that, and then we'll go over to a phone conversation, and ultimately to text messages back and forth, phone calls back and forth, getting you all set up for your amazing trip. New deals on that topic all the way out until the fall of this year are released. And so if you have a trip booked or you want a trip booked, reach out, because there might be a deal available for you.
And Disney Plus releases their deals this week. So
deals galore.
Yeah.
Disney is expensive when you buy it off the rack, but when you put a deal on it, you sit there and go, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
For like park tickets, hotel, theming, entertainment, experience, if you were to go to Cedar Point for a week, you'd be staying in a crappy hotel with nothing to show for it, and you'd be 2/3 of the way there in cost. So
yep.
Anyway, so my number one reason to take an adult trip down to Disney is the pace and enjoying the company of those around you. Matt kind of alluded to it. I kind of alluded to it in other parts of this top 3. But when you are with the kids want to ride this, and they want to go do this, and they want to buy this, and they want to get that, and they want to eat that treat, and they want to stop there, and they got to go to the bathroom, and they got to go to the playground, and they got to go to that ride,
the boneyard,
and then we got to play on everything in Figment when we get out of Figment, and we got to touch everything in Spaceship Earth when we get out of Spaceship Earth, and we got to touch every gem in the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train line, and we gotta. I think I made my point.
You did.
So
you did.
When you are in an adults only trip, Matt already talked about it. World Showcase. It takes a whole new light, right? When you're there with the kids, you're tunnel visioned on, okay, they're starting to get a little bit antsy. They've stared at their device long enough. We got to get rolling. Not so much on the adult trip. You go grab that second drink. You go back to that stand and grab another one of those event festival foods because it was so stinking good. You just sit here for an hour, no big deal type of a mindset. When you're on that adults only trip, when you're in Magic Kingdom, you're sitting there thinking, what do I want to do versus what are all the things we have to do.
Yeah.
Right. The mindset is just different. And on top of that, kind of piggybacking with this, you can really, really spend some time appreciating your significant other, appreciating the blessings you have in life, appreciating and getting to know those friends on a deeper level, really, truly creating bonds that can't be broken and severed. Just taking the time away from the hustle and bustle to do a shared passion. My wife and our trip are always very, very foundational to strengthening our relationship. Going with Matt and Shannon was an amazing time for us last year. When we go in the near future, we have our friends that come up pretty the kids are there, but we'll for those little instances where, hey, let's just sit around. Yeah, Addie, Bryce, yeah, go run off and grab yourself some caramel corn. Go run off and find the Remy or the egg or the whatever scavenger hunt's going on. Yeah, I trust you to go into the pavilion if you know exactly where we are. You both have cell phones. I trust you to go off into the pavilion looking for the figment or the whatever and coming back. And just having a bit of that downtime, that relaxation. The pace of an adult trip cannot be overlooked. It is absolutely wonderful to just kind of, and on top of that, like sleep in late, rest during the middle of the day, stay out late, whatever you want to do, because you're not responsible for a tiny human tagging along.
Yeah, I mean, we don't stay. My wife and I are lucky enough to where our anniversary runs like right when Disney tapes the Christmas specials, like that first week that they've got the Christmas stuff up. And we've been able to see like Fits in the Tantrums. Now there's a great story behind that which we won't get into, but we wouldn't have done that if we had little humans with us, because that was like 1 o'clock in the morning and we're just hanging around the park waiting for them to do like the 30th take of this one line of the song. But that's exactly the point, is without the little humans, you've got a little bit more flexibility. My number one kind of piggybacks off of your number two on the tours is, you can enjoy some of those finer dining restaurants and not have to worry about your little human ordering the chicken fingers or ordering a dish and eating 3 bites of it and saying that they don't like it and then having to go somewhere else and buy them their chicken nuggets or a pizza or whatever.
Well, and some of those fancy menus on that topic, like I'm thinking of Sanaa especially, or not Sanaa, Animal Kingdom.
Yak and Yeti.
No, Tiffin's. Like Tiffin's menu, it is phenomenal. It's a wonderful experience, but I'll never take my kids there again, because I had gone when I was there by myself with you, because you had to leave a day early. I went to Tiffin's on my own, and then so the next trip I booked a Tiffin's and I took my kids there and I went, this was a mistake. But it just wasn't like even the children's menu was very off-palate, exotic flavors. And an adult is going to find something to enjoy about that, but a kid, not so much.
Well, and I even think of some place like Skipper Canteen or Citrico's, places like that they offer wildly different menus, but there isn't a whole lot that are like right down a kid's alley. I mean, you've got to really look at some of these menus to make sure, hey, on the kid's side, is there going to be something that my kid's going to like? And we do that, like I said, we're going to Disneyland here in a few months. We've been looking at their menus pretty consistently and just trying to figure out, hey, is there stuff that Braden's going to eat? Is there a steak or something that Allie will eat? That kind of stuff, to where we can kind of build our meal plan based off of that. Without the little humans, gives you a little bit more flexibility and a little bit more room on that. Hey, we can go to some of these nicer places. You know,
Well, and on that, like Takumi Tai and Le Cellier and Monsieur Paul and all, those are just straight up not designed with kids in mind.
correct, correct.
Now, in juxtaposition to that, I will compliment Brown Derby at how accessible their kids menu is, but still maintaining kind of that upper echelon restaurant environment.
Yeah, yeah, and there are restaurants that do that, but I mean, that kind of pulls in the why do you want to use a travel agent aspect on a trip is we know these menus. We look at these menus, we figure out these menus and know which ones are very kid friendly and which ones aren't. So, it's a big thing, and that's one of those things that, Shannon has it on her list. You've talked about it, I talk about it. It's about pace, it's about different options that you don't think about when you have the kids with you. And in the end, there are 100 more reasons why to take an adult trip. Some of them we won't even talk about on the show, but it is what it is. I mean, it's one of those things that, Shannon and I take an adult only trip once every couple of years. And it used to be we'd go to Vegas one trip and then we go to Disney the next trip. And so we'd be at Disney every 4 years. Now it's every trip is to Disney, it seems like. And there's a reason. I mean, you have a lot of options. It's a little bit closer for us. It ends up being a little bit cheaper than doing Vegas for us. So it just makes a lot more sense. So yeah. So lots of reasons to take an adult trip. Peter, another good top 3.
Hey, thanks for checking us out today. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons to help out the channel. Also, if you're looking for some more Disney content, check this out. I think you're going to like it.